Hey guys, it's Splatoon here, and welcome back to Splatoon 2 month. Last week, I ranked the subs, and I suggest you watch that first if you haven't already. And this week, I'm ranking the specials. These can be some very powerful weapons that can really change the tide of battle, that you can't use it unless you wink enough turf, and not get splatted, losing about half of it. But like the subs, some are great, some aren't so great. It's the same rules as how I rank the subs, so let's go! Yeah, I hate the Inkjet special. It sounds cool. You pilot a jet which spews out ink and you can fire some powerful shots, but it has two fatal flaws. One, you are a massive target. You can adjust the height of your flight by using the jump or swim buttons, but anyone with good aim can easily get you out. And two, your landing marker is shown to everyone, so there's a good chance you'll be splattered upon landing. I've lost count of how many times I've seen someone being splattered whilst using this special, and the high amount of turf you can cover means nothing if you just get splattered. So yeah, I tend to avoid this special. Similarly to the Inkjet, I really don't like this special. The Stingray is one of the most situational specials in the game. It's only really useful in one of the ranked modes. You fire a high-powered stream of ink that can also pass through walls, and after a few seconds, the radius of the stream increases. It even gives away enemy locations like you had thermal ink equipped, but that's pretty much useless as you can't move that much whilst using this special outside of squid form, and the silhouettes vanish once you fire. But the main letdown here is the controls. It's very slow turning, as such it's very easy to get out of the way from. Not to mention you are wide open whilst you're using it. It has some uses in rank, like I said, like in tower control. It's really useful when aimed at the tower with opponents on it, but really that's about it. Okay, this is the last special I dislike. The Tenta Missiles allow you to fire missiles, obviously, at opposing players. Once you activate it, it'll allow you to lock onto opponents within a radius, and any of them inside that radius when you fire will have the Tenta Missiles homing on them. But unfortunately, there are two major problems with this one. One, the missiles are very easy to avoid, it rarely splats anyone, and two, like the Stingray, you're wide open. But it does have more uses than the last two, as one, it can expose enemy locations. In splat zones, it's useful for getting the splat zone back when there's opposing players inside of it, and it'll force any opponents off the tower in tower control, but at that point it's more useful for displacing opponents rather than killing them. Aside from those few uses though, there are many other specials that are better for killing and inking turf.
The all-new special weapons, and by all new, I do mean all of them are new.
Yeah, I don't think the bomb launcher specials are that new. You can basically throw as many splat bombs as you like whilst it's active, and you can even hold R to throw them further. But the problem is that the splat bombs bounce everywhere, making it hard to splat anyone with them. Decent at covering turf, but honestly, this special might as well just be an instant total ink refill, since you can actually still fire your weapon whilst this special's active. Although, a total ink refill on the spot isn't bad. The Autobomb launcher works exactly the same as the Splat Bomb launcher, except it obviously fires Autobombs instead. Once it lands, it'll try and find enemies indicated by the circle it emits. If it detects someone, it'll go after those and explode when near them. Won't usually kill them, but it's very good at displacing people. And if it doesn't detect anyone, it'll just explode near where it landed, which is why it's higher than the Splat Bomb launcher. The most recent of the specials, the Ultra Stamp allows you to continuously stamp the ground, giving you protection at the front and splatting any opponents in your way. You can also throw the hammer at opposing players to end the special prematurely, and that can leave them vulnerable. It has got me some kills, but it's also got me killed as you're vulnerable at the back. It's also very hard to steer, having to outright stop the special if you want to make a sharp turn. Now considering the Inklings and Octolings close their eyes whilst using this special, it doesn't surprise me. They look like they're having a blast using this special at least though. I wish I could have as much fun using this special. It can be useful at times, but it's heavily outclassed by later specials. Like I said in my last video, the curling bombs are one of my favourite subs because they can quickly create a path for you to escape in. And this weapon allows you to create several of those, and you can even hold down the R button again to send them even further along the ground. They're not the best for splatting opponents, but for inking turf, they're pretty good. Another one of my favourite subs, because they land exactly where you aim them, so you can be a bit more accurate with them. And they have a larger blast radius than most bombs, so it covers more ring than some of the other bomb launchers, with each blast giving you up to about 20 points, which makes up for its longer blast time. But considering you're going to be firing up to 11 of these bombs, the delayed time really isn't an issue. This is easily my favourite of the bomb launcher specials, probably because the burst bomb is my favourite of the sub-weapons, as it damages on contact, not to mention the bombs fire at a much faster rate compared to the other specials, so it's very easy to get kills with this, and it's also the best at inking turf. It's just a shame only one good weapon has this. Screw you Bamboozler, you suck. Now here's a special that benefits everyone on the team directly. The ink armor gives you and the rest of your teammates an extra 30 defense whilst it lasts, and guarantees that your next hit will not kill you. Even anything that one-shots you, though anything that does that will knock you back. As such, this special can be a nightmare for snipers. In 1v1 scuffles, having the ink armor could be the difference. However, there is a brief period when you're vulnerable before using it, so watch out. And here's another special that'll also help out everyone. Once activated, you'll rise into the air, increase your defense via armor, and you and your teammates will start charging up a ball of ink with booyahs, which will actually fill up some of their special gauge as well. However, it's not needed, as you can charge it up on your own. Honestly, I usually don't booyah when someone else is using it, because they can charge it up on their own. Once charged, it can be fired quite a good distance, damaging any players inside the explosion. It won't guarantee a kill, but it'll make them at the least extremely vulnerable. It can also be useful for defense if you use it quickly enough, as that armor has an insane amount of health. It's great for attack, it's great for defense, and it's even a bit great for your teammates. The Bubble Blower is easily one of the most dangerous specials in the game. You can create 3 bubbles of your own ink onto the arena, and these can be fired out to cause massive explosions that will split any opponents nearby. You can even use a bomb straight after this special, which will pretty much guarantee an explosion, especially with that ink refill. This one can be an absolute beast in splat zones, because not only do they get in the way for opponent shots, but the explosions those things cause can pretty much get you the zone. Your opponents, however, can fire at the bubbles as well, which will weaken them, and you can't fire your main weapon whilst you're using this special, so that can leave you open. This special creates a giant cloud of ink that rains down ink in the direction you threw it, and it continuously damages any opponents under it. It's really good if you want a particular area covered in your own ink. Like in the splat zones again, is even if it doesn't get you the zone, it'll still leave your opponents vulnerable, and it'll leave a lot of your team's ink in the zone. It's also really good at inking turf as well, as you can get up to about 100 points just from this special alone, so it can be extremely useful in both turf wars and splat zones. The only thing keeping it out of the top 2 is that you can't charge up another special until after it's finished, which for something like the ink armor makes sense as it's directly affecting you, but here it doesn't. Man, do I love the Baller special. Apart from the brief vulnerability whilst activating it, this special can be nasty. Once you're in, you'll leave a trail of ink wherever you travel, which can include up walls, and you can take extra hits without damage, though you will lose the ball if you take too much damage. Once enough time has passed, or you hit the ZR button, it'll begin to charge and explode, splatting anyone nearby. A well-timed baller can be deadly, as it can be really useful at crushing enemy defenses. The explosion itself is very slow, though the baller is immune from damage right before the explosion, so once it starts charging, your opponents are going to have fun. But for something like splat zones, it's pretty useful. In fact, I've seen entire ranked battles determined by one well-used baller, and only one other special has beaten that, since that special can cancel out the baller. Ever since I first used this special, it's been my favourite to use because it's easily the most useful and satisfying of the bunch. As the name implies, you splash down with a huge amount of force, causing an ink explosion around you when you hit the ground, which splats any opposing players within the radius. And even if they're just out of the radius, it'll still heavily damage them, leaving them vulnerable and easy to kill, especially if you have a burst bomb. It's so easy to get kills with this special, and because of how quick it is to use, you can get right back to inking turf and charging it back up. I've found uses for this special in every ranked mode. In splat zones, if it's used in the area, it'll help tremendously gain back the zone, not to mention wipe out any enemy bombs in it. Super jumping to the tower with a splashdown can be nasty for opponents. It does a lot of damage to the Rainmaker's barrier, making it more likely it'll explode with your ring, and it's helpful for preventing the opponents from putting up their clam baskets. There is sadly a brief period where you are vulnerable before using it, but this has always been my choice of special, and many of my favourite weapons in the game has the splashdown. Which ones? To be continued. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. As for next week, it's top 10 favourite maps, so I hope to see you next week for that. Links to my social media are all in the description as well if you're interested in that. Until next time, I'll see you all later. Stay awesome, guys.